Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today we have an unexpected, unplanned package that arrived in the mail today, and it actually comes from our good friend Anouj at Enchante. So first of all, I have to say a very special thank you to Anouj because I got this and I went, oh man, do I owe you money for this? Because if anyone knows the situation I'm in, I'm not allowed to spend any money right now basically on perfume. And he wrote back and he said, no, this is a gift to you, Ramsey, for everything that you're going through. I feel like you should have something to cheer you up. Now, to all of the, companies and people out there who sort of promote their brand, to me, nothing that, speaks to the heart truer than a friend like Anouj reaching out and doing this on his own volition and saying, you don't even have to make a video about it. If it's just, this is just for you. And so it's a good thing it's a gift, because otherwise I probably have to give up half of these fragrances that are in here. So thank you, Anouj. Seriously, that is very, very kind. And if you are brand new to the channel and you're not familiar with Anouj's shop, it's EnchantePerfumes.com. I'll put it in the link, the video description, as most people in the community are familiar with his shop. He's a very reputable vintage seller. Much of my vintage collection was procured from Enchante. And, I think nothing speaks to the heart of a man more than doing something like this. Like, I just want to give him a hug. You know what I mean? Very, very kind of him. Not necessarily something that he had to do. No one twisted his arm. He did it of his own volition. And honestly, it means a lot to have friends in the community like that. When you're going through hard times, it means a lot. So here's the box. Let us unbox the box, shall we? Let's see I have no clue what's in here. It could be anything. It could be absolutely anything at all. So it's good to get a gift from a friend. So gifts I get to keep. So this is very good. So let's see what is in here, shall we? Oh, by the way, I guess we should do scent of the day first. So the first thing, see, I haven't done a video in so long, and I want to do more videos. Trust me, when I look at the collection, there's so many things I want to talk about, so many videos that I want to do, but, it's just sort of that time where there's just a lot going on right now, and I just mentally, it's hard to squeeze the videos in, but I will continue to try. You also may see videos from a new location. You never know. You never know how that all is going to play out. But today, to work, I actually wore this. I wore Amouage Jubilation 25 for women, which I absolutely love. So this is this is what the old tester bottles of Amouage used to basically look like. And you can see on the bottom it says Jubilation Ladies is basically what this says. These bottles, I believe, were out and about whenever the brand was still owned by the Sultanate of Oman. So if you actually look at the gold woman that I have, and you flip it over on the bottom, it says Sultanate of Oman. You can see right now. Sultanate of Oman. So it is new enough where it's a www address, so it's got the internet address of Amouage on here, but I think these bottles were old enough where it was still when the Sultanate of Oman owned them. So I really enjoyed wearing Jubilation 25, and I actually have a review on the channel, but it was before I got this bottle. Actually, this is one of the fragrances I ended up testing thanks to my good friend Dushan. He sent some samples my way. I tested the fragrance and I was like, man, this is 100% full bottle worthy, and just absolutely fell in love with it. It's amazing. Some people compare it to Diaghilev, and there is a little bit of Diaghilev in there, but this also sort of goes its own way. The missing note that is not listed in the note breakdown is cumin. There is a pretty hefty dose of cumin in the top, but if you like that Amouage spicy oriental, frankincense and resins, oh, it's just fantastic. A lot of tarragon in the top too, which is in the top notes as well, which is one of my secret ingredient notes. Okay, so let's see what the great Anouj sent my way. He did not have to do this. It was very, very kind of him. But let's see what's in here. So this is a fragrance that I'm even scared to pronounce because I know I'm going to absolutely butcher it. Frenchmen everywhere are just like this, just waiting for me to try to say this. Folies Bergere. Folies Bergere. And this is, let's look it up. Folies. I think this fragrance was recommended to me by one of you folks. I think someone left me a comment. Yes, this is the one that someone left me a comment and said, hey man, you need to try this, even though it's a ladies fragrance. It came out in 81. I think you'll absolutely love it. So it was on my wish list. So this is the box. This is the 30 ml eau de parfum, and you can see sort of the short ingredient list right here on the back. And Omega Cosmetics, distributed by Omega Cosmetics. And actually what's interesting about this is the last distributor of this fragrance before it got discontinued was not Omega Cosmetics. It was Laboratories Recreation. So this is even an older version than I guess the last one that was put out. So let's take this bad boy out. This is how it looks. Beautiful. I love vintage fragrances, man. This very well may be something I even wear to work tomorrow. Let's see. Maybe I'll wear it to bed tonight and see what it's like. Aldehydes, apricot, freesia, and water lily is the top notes that are listed, with peony. Very rare to find a good peony fragrance. One of my favorites of all time is, of course, Diamant. But there are very few well-done peony fragrances. So there's the bottle again. Folies Bergere. Are the notes on the back? No, just the ingredients. Alcohol, fragrance, and DC Brown. 1. Interesting. Okay, good stuff. So I love peony, lilac, tuberose, jasmine, amber, cedar, musk, sandalwood, and vetiver. Very, very interesting stuff. Cannot wait to try that. So that will, hopefully I'll be able to report back on Folies Bergere very soon. I never hear anyone talk about this. And if it's on Anooge's, if Anouge sent me this, he probably has a bunch of stock, because I think this is one I did ask him about. And so if he probably has stock if you're interested in checking this one out. From 1981, discontinued. Okay, next on the list. Next on the list is going to be what are you? What are you going to be? A beauty. One of the greatest Jean Patou fragrances of all time. This is 1000 Eau de Toilette. This is a brilliant, beautiful composition. Let's see. It says 1000 is a floral bouquet with a hint of woodiness. Osmanthus from China, Bulgarian rose, absolute of jasmine from Gros, a harmony of Viola odorata, rose de mai, Mysore sandalwood, real Mysore sandalwood, and Indonesian patchouli. I mean, just one of the greatest feminine fragrances of all time. 1000 by Jean Patou. I've got a bottle of the Eau de Toilette, and I have a bottle of the Eau de Parfum, I think. Yes, I do. And guess what? These actually came from Anouge as well. So I had the small boys. That's the big boy. So hopefully I will get to review this, because I think this is one of the greatest feminine fragrances ever created. And 1000 actually, I think at the time it was supposed to be one of the most expensive fragrances to create. I believe that's where the name 1000 initially was sort of thought about. 1000, let's see, 1972 is when it came out. Floral Chypre, so according to Parfumo, this is discontinued. Which, if that's true, let's see if it shows the Eau de Parfum discontinued as well. It does. Yeah, even the Eau de Parfum is discontinued. So a spicy floral chypre. This might lean a little too feminine for some men, but I absolutely love it. And the you know, I've said this before on other videos, but Jean Carleo had a very specific style, and that style of his was to use a lot of what is now ingredients that are banned or impossible to use nowadays. Like, he used a lot of real Mysore sandalwood. He used a lot of oak moss. He was very traditionally French in style, and so that's one of the reasons that his fragrances are still so sought after. Is obviously, if you're going to be IFRA compliant, you can't use the amount of oak moss that he used to use. You could still use Mysore sandalwood if you could get it. It's just so regulated and prohibited. Only a small amount is allowed to be harvested by the Indian government. It's very, very regulated nowadays. So, you know, back in 1972, 82, even 92, you know, lots of Mysore sandalwood was used in designer fragrances. And then once you got into the early 2000s, everything changed. And so that's one of the reasons why, excuse me, those Jean Carleo old creations are so sought after. Okay, next on the list we have very, very kind of Anouj, man. I mean, it's very touching, to be honest with you. Very touching that you have friends like that. And, you know, it's one of those things where even if I never even made this video, he would have been happy just sending these to me. But I think this is something where, even though I've been a little down, this is a video that has to be done, because this sort of generosity just sort of, you know, lifts me up. It lifts up my spirits to have friends like that. It's very, very touching. And you know what's crazy about it is it's in a community that people that you've never actually met in person. Like I mentioned, giving Anouj a hug, right? People like Rich Mitch write me, check on me. I've never met these people, but I consider them true friends. So very kind of Anouj. Seriously, thank you. Very touching. So this is a fragrance I've never smelled before. It's called Replay, and I actually don't know anything about this. I think I might have heard of it, or you know where I heard of it was scouring Anouj's website. I think that's where I've heard of Replay, but other than that, I've never really heard anyone talk about it. Or, let's see, Replay, Natural Life. Huh, R-E-P-L-A-Y. Well, this is a vintage bottle. You can tell by the 85 proof on the bottom right there. But how do I find, is it Replay by Replay? The fashion brand Replay is mainly known by denim lovers. However, the company further expanded it to offer fine fragrances as well. Replay goes back to Claudio Buziol, born in 1957, whose parents earned their money from a tailor's studio and a fashion store. Buziol himself, after completing his apprenticeship, initially designed and only manufactured men's shirts to expand the range in his parents' store. However, Buziol preferred a more casual, relaxed American design. That's why he founded his brand Replay in 1978 at only 21 years old. Okay, so I think I found it. So this one, I believe, came out in 1996 is what it looks like. And it's supposed to be a spicy, woody, aquatic is how Parfumo describes it, which is probably correct because it came out in 1996. So it's lavender, musk, patchouli, amber, bergamot, cardamom, cedar, juniper, lavender absolute, and vetiver. So there's no aquatic notes listed, but you can tell by sort of the, just the, well, I guess you can't tell, but it gives off that 90s, you know, the juice color is somewhat clear. It's not thick. It gives off a little bit of that vibe. Maybe there's a touch of this sort of 90s freshness in here. I bet there is. But very interesting. And of course, it is discontinued. It was last marketed by Morris Profumi. And this one is Morris Profumi in Italy. UTF 55. Very interesting. Thank you. Awesome. Can't wait to get to know that one. Okay, next on the list we have... Aha, a Chanel. Holy moly. Ah, these are the Chanels I've never smelled. Dude, that is awesome, man. I am a blessed ram. So yeah, this is the Chanel line I've actually never smelled before. And somebody will know what this line is called. I don't know exactly what it's called, but this one is called Paris Venise. Paris Venise? Paris Venise. So this is supposed to be like Chanel's fresher line, I guess you could call it. Let me look this up. So this doesn't have the magnetic caps like the it's been so long since I've done these videos, I don't even remember the name of the line. So Chanel's Less Exclusives line has the magnetic cap, but this line right here does not. It's a friction cap. So this is actually the first time I've even held this bottle in my hand. I've never held one of these bottles in my hand before. I like it. I don't like it as much as the Less Exclusives bottle, but I like it. And again, you can tell by the color. Like, look at Le Lion versus the color of Paris Venise. Let's look up what this is, because I know this is supposed to be, this line is supposed to be sort of a easier to wear, lighter type line. Let me see what the note listing is. So, Paris. So this is a 2018 release. A creamy floral fragrance with neroli, tonka bean, and vanilla. And of course, Olivier Polge is the perfumer. Awesome. So cannot wait to get to know that. Can't wait to get to know that line. I've never smelled anything from that line before. So I have a feeling sort of, I have a feeling what the line is supposed to be like. And I've heard Rich Mitch talk a little bit about it, but I've never smelled, I don't know if he's talked about this one. He has one or two I've heard him talk about. I know he said the longevity isn't great on them, but you just sort of spray away. And I think this is a, what is this? This is 125 mil. So you can see you get a little bit more juice in these bottles. So I think it's sort of meant to just spray away. All right, let's see what's next on the list. Ah, this is another one that I was actually asking Anooj about. That's awesome, because this is one that's a little bit of a trick. So it's from one of my favorite houses from back in the day that no one talks about, Pierre Cardin. And this is a fragrance that throws everyone off, because if you looked at this and you just sort of, you knew nothing about it, but you just looked at the name, what conclusion would you make from a fragrance called Bleu Marine de Cardin? Bleu Marine de Cardin. Well, oh, I can smell it from the atomizer. This is exactly what I was expecting. So, first of all, I'll tell you what it's not. It is not a blue fragrance. It is not a blue fragrance at all. And I think that's what sort of I would say surprises some people when they look into this perfume, because it really has that 80s sort of, you know, masculine, vintage, lots of basil and mugwort and spices and cloves and leather, and you know, it's a very manly frankincense, spruce. It's supposed to be a very manly vintage scent, but it's in this packaging that I don't think blue meant back then what it really meant once the 90s sort of rolled around. And so originally it says the fragrance was produced by SNDP, and this bottle is a Schulten bottle. I wonder if SNDP is Schulten. But you can tell this, look, copyright 1974. It must be because of the bottle design, because they're using the same bottle design as Pierre Cardin's Pour Monsieur. The copyright must be for the bottle design. And then I think Coty ended up making this fragrance for a little while, and then it got completely discontinued. So, but the full note listing is basil, bergamot, clary sage, green notes, mugwort, cedar, cinnamon, clove, geranium, jasmine, patchouli, spruce, thyme, ambergris, benzoin, frankincense, labdanum, leather, and moss. Sounds amazing. It smells amazing. If you like those, from the atomizer, I can smell it already. It smells absolutely stunning. Raymond Chailan, an all-star perfumer, and Martine Gras, another all-star perfumer, created this. So very excited to get to know this. I can mark this one off the wish list. Okay, couple more, and we'll save the baby one for last. So this is this is an Alain Delon fragrance, which I think this is one of the women's ones I've never smelled before. Let me see if I can figure out which one this is. This is La Temps d'Aimer. Let me look it up. I need more light in here. Alain Delon Le Temps d'Aimer. Yes, so this is, interestingly enough, this is the very first Alain Delon fragrance for women. So they created Alain Delon, which ended up turning into Alain Delon Classic in 1980. This is Alain Delon's first attempt at a feminine fragrance, if I'm not mistaken. And it says, okay, it just says pressurized container. Awesome. So it's an animalic floral spicy fragrance. A floral animalic, my favorite kind of animalic fragrance. Aldehydes, Brazilian rosewood, peach, clove, gardenia, jasmine, orris root, rose, ylang ylang, amber, civet, castoreum, leather, oak moss, patchouli, styrax, and vanilla. That sounds awesome. So yes, my very first Alain Delon fragrance for women. Very excited about that. And finally, just because it's in a small package, do not overlook the small package. What are you? It is a decant. It is a decant of Italian Cypress. Oh, man, I very well might have to wear this tomorrow. I may have to just spray this with reckless abandon and wear this tomorrow. Oh, Italian Cypress is something I've wanted to smell for a long, long time. Very excited about that. Italian Come on, fingers. Don't fail me now. Cypress. 2008. Woody, spicy, galbanum, mandarin orange, bergamot, peppermint, cypress, basil, carnation, patchouli, moss, and labdanum. And you know what? Smelling it from the atomizer, there is a little bit of... I did a video on Roja's Apex. There's a little bit of Roja's Apex in there. You can go check out my thoughts on Roja's Apex if you'd like. But even more so than that is this. If you've ever smelled the OG Halson Z-14 in the red blood cell bottle from 1974, you will have an idea of, from the atomizer, what this smells like. I'll tell you that. I'm going to drench myself in this tomorrow and then come back and hopefully talk about it with you guys. Definitely a throwback Tom Ford. I know it, Z-14 was the fragrance of Tom Ford's youth, and I know that it really inspired his creations over and over. Halston, in general, really inspired Tom Ford. So I'm very excited to get to wear this and know it. So thank you, Anooj. Awesome. Definitely did exactly what this little mini gift was supposed to do. Lift my spirits. Thank you, my friend. I hope this also sort of shows the perfume world just what a gem you are to the whole community. So wish I was here to just give you a hug, Anooj. Thank you very much, my brother. Thanks for watching. Let me know which ones you're most interested in me sort of talking about. I'm interested in smelling them all. In fact, I'm going to spray some as soon as this video is probably done, and maybe try to do some individual videos on these as the months go on. Again, the video count will probably slow down a bit since the future is a little up in the air. I'm not 100% sure where I will be doing the videos from, whether this location I'll be able to stay here, whether I'm going to have to sort of move out for a little while. So we'll see how all of the moving parts end up working out. But I will try to squeeze in as many videos as I can, because I really do love doing them for you guys. I love the comments and the interactions and all of that stuff. It means a lot to me. So thank you for watching. Cheers. Everyone have a great evening. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye now.